Today, we also honor those we have lost along the way. Friends, advocates, and loved ones who fought tirelessly for dignity, justice, and compassion. Their spirits live on in everything we do. And we have established a garden of remembrance near the exhibition space where each one of us can have a special thought to our dear ones. Among them was a dear colleague and passionate leader, Ernest Drucker, Ernie. To help us remember and celebrate his life and legacy, I would like to invite Pat O'Hare and Ethan Nadelmann to the floor.
Hello. Thank you for being here. In 1999, I met Ernie Drucker, and we became friends. I lived in a place called Bootle. Ernie lived in Brooklyn, and Ernie used to say, with what we'd done, not bad for a boy from Bootle and a boy from Brooklyn. But Ernie was a special person in my life. He had incredible ideas. These ideas came out of his ears. They came out of every part of his body. And they used to come out with names of people and when you should do what. But we never did any of them. We never did one single one of them, actually. And Ernie didn't think about it anymore. One day, I was in Saint-Tropez, as you do sometimes, sitting, looking at the Mediterranean. And Ernie was sitting next to me. And he said to me, "You know what?" He said, "We need a trade organization." So I said, "Well, what's one of those, Ernie?" He said, "Well, an organization that people who believe the same things can come together, and every year they can meet." And we never did it, actually, until this conference. This conference, it's, I don't know what to say about this conference. It's just been such an amazing part of my life. And now my daughter's carrying the torch. I'm so proud of them. I want to say something to the people who use drugs among us. What I've done was my job. It was my passion. But for you, this is your lives. And I will never, ever forget that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ethan Nadelmann, the founder of Drug Policy Alliance. Let me just start off as an American up here. I always used to apologize for the havoc my country had wreaked with the drug war around the world. Now I must also apologize for the havoc we are and are going to wreak on the world for the next 4 years. My apologies to all of you. If Ernie Drucker were standing up here now, he would totally agree with me. You know, I used to say decades ago as a young activist in this field that we needed to recognize and honor the elders. Now for me to say that, it sounds a little bit self-serving, but at the same time, Ernie should be an inspiration for everybody here. What he showed, I mean, Pat made the point, there was nobody in the history of harm reduction going back since its origins 40 years ago who spun off more creative ideas for policy, for advocacy, for research than Ernie Drucker. Nobody. He never pigeonholed himself. He was a psychologist. He was a professor. He was an activist. He was an intellectual. And he, of course, also was a dear friend. The guy who introduced me to the woman who I fell in love with after my marriage and helped me furnish my apartment when I moved back to New York City. He was on that fundamental level. He was the person standing up, getting needle exchange programs going in the U.S. and around the world in the 1980s, early 90s. The person testifying in court to defend ACT UP when they were prosecuted by our former Mayor Giuliani. He was the person speaking about the need for responsible legal regulation and opposing criminalization and opposing stigmatization. He was the one legitimizing the phrase harm reduction at the time when all government organizations opposed harm reduction and refused to even talk about it. He spoke about AIDS and homelessness. He spoke about tuberculosis. He fought for people suffering from asbestos. He was a model for anybody who wants and aspires to become a leader in the future of harm reduction, to not limit yourself, to not believe you are just this, just that, only that area. Ernie Drucker was the model, the inspiration that we all need to look up to. I'm so glad that Harm Reduction International has honored him with these moments today. Thank you ever so much.
Jesse, stand up, please.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Jesse Drucker, Ernie's son.
And his grandson, Hank.
Hank, stand up. This is Ernie's grandson, Hank.
Thanks for that, Ethan. It's always great to hear from Pat and Ethan. It's been a long time.